Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Craig here with another great business to discuss in this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Emma, and she's selling her display advertising, affiliate and Amazon Associates business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Emma. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, Craig.
Good to hear, and I'm looking forward to talking more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It's a display advertising, affiliate and Amazon Associates business in the finance niche created in April 2018. The average monthly revenue for the business is $1,975, and it makes an average of $1,837 net profit each month. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 51478 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's have a look at what's included in the sale. We have the primary domain including all site content and files, 2 parked domains, an email list with 2,365 subscribers, social media accounts for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest and LinkedIn, digital products which are stored in Teachable and Gumroad, a Canva Pro account and SOPs. Okay, Emma, now let's hear from you. Can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Well, I don't have any, to be honest. I was a government worker for over 30 years. I took very early retirement and I felt that I needed to have something to do in that retirement. So I started up my website as a hobby and then turned it into a business.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, that's always great to hear when someone takes hobby and actually starts to monetize it. So what was your sort of learning process as you were going through the business? What are the biggest things that you learned when starting out?
I think the biggest things I learned was I belatedly learned about SEO. And I think if I was to start again, which I don't intend to, but if I were to start another business, I would start with SEO because obviously that takes time to bring in traffic through Google. So you need to start that sort of, good 6 months before you're actually thinking about getting traffic from that particular article.
Okay, yeah, great insight. And what attracted you to the affiliate display advertising and Amazon Associates sort of content business models in particular?
Well, to say I started it off more sort of hobby, so it was in a niche that I was interested in and I had experience in. So I started writing about that and it took off quite quickly. So I ended up getting into Mediavine, which is a premium display ads company, after 5 months. And because I got to that level of traffic, it was like, well, it would be silly not to monetize it. So I monetized it with display ads. And then it was a case of, well, if I'm monetizing it with display ads, then maybe I should do something else about affiliates and Amazon and so on and so forth. But I've very much done it at my pace. So affiliate income really didn't start until mid last year, 2020, and I really haven't done a huge amount on it yet. That's a definite growth area because I've done it more as a lifestyle business rather than a make money business.
Excellent, yeah, and you've definitely set up this site well in terms of traffic. It has a good split of traffic channels and the distribution across the website is very good too, so definitely well set up there. And sort of monetizing something that was a hobby for you. How come you're selling the business at this point?
Well, as I say, I started it as a hobby for early retirement and our circumstances have changed now. So I'd actually quite like to go back to early retirement, or not quite as early as it was. So that's the plan is I started it as a hobby. It was then a challenge to do things like monetize it. Then it was a challenge to get the traffic up further and then another challenge to get it up to another further level. And now I'm thinking, well, I know that there are certain things that really should be done to this business because it can make more money and take it further. But actually, I don't want to do those things. So it's better to hand it off to someone else who is coming in fresh, who will be happy to do those things and to take it on. And I'll go back to doing what I had originally planned to do 3 years ago.
Okay, great stuff. And it seems that the earnings and traffic have been pretty consistent year on year with some nice growth. What would you attribute that success to?
I think the success is to what I've tried to do is I've always looked at what the popular posts are and look at where that traffic is coming from, and basically then look to see whether there are any gaps in that particular area that I can write more content for. And I have just recently, I took on and did an SEO course to learn more about SEO. And I'm starting to go back. I've done about 30 posts now, going back over old posts and basically optimizing them for SEO, which for some of them means completely rewriting them because I didn't write them for SEO purposes. So that's sort of helping to start to drive up the sort of the Google element as well.
Okay, great stuff. And when you started to introduce the affiliate and Amazon Associates aspects of the business, did you start to monetize the content you already had through affiliates, or did you start to create new content and sort of a shoulder niche and expand a bit?
I added affiliates into existing content, but in all honesty, I haven't gone back over all of the posts and put in affiliates for every single one. I'm trying to do that as I go through the old posts and re-optimize them, whether that be for SEO or just to make them the layout that bit better. And I'm trying to add in affiliates at that point. But for new content, I'm trying to ensure that I have a good mix between content that is purely for information and as a traffic driver, and then content that is based around affiliate marketing. But I'll be honest, I'm not great at affiliate marketing, and there's so much potential in the site that I know other sites in the same niche do a lot better in affiliate marketing than me, but it's just not my bag.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So was there anything that you tried when building this business that didn't work out for you?
In the very early stages, I was using Twitter because that seemed to be a suggestion from the research that I'd done. And I think I probably did about 6 months worth of Twitter. And I got to the point where I think, well, actually, Twitter is really just bloggers retweeting other bloggers' tweets and articles. And it's kind of like a merry-go-round of blogger. And actually, the customer engagement and customers who are actually going to come to my site and read my traffic, they don't sit in Twitter. So I still have the Twitter account. It's still live, but I haven't actually used it for the past 18 months or 2 years.
Okay, and we talked about the traffic earlier. Where does the majority of traffic come from for this site?
The majority of traffic, it comes from Pinterest is around 80%, and then Google's 13% or so. I've got 13,500 followers on Pinterest. So that's my main marketing platform. In terms of location, the US is actually my biggest traffic in terms of nearly 65%. The UK is 12%. I think Canada's about 7 or 8%, something along those lines. So it's strange that, I'm based in the UK, but I actually have a much bigger US audience. So I actually write in American English when I am writing articles and things like that, because that's where the audience is.
Excellent stuff. So if you were to keep the business, what are some ways that you try to grow it?
I think if I were to keep the business, then I would need to write content that is much more around an area that I'm not so keen on, which is the make money niche I don't like writing about. So I think I would probably contract that out. I outsource it because there are plenty of writers out there who can do that for me. And I would also monetize the email list. I do very little of that. And also I would dig further into the affiliate marketing because there's so much more potential. It's just not something I enjoy doing. So where I've tried to keep it on a lifestyle, enjoyable level, if I had my business head on, the business head says, do the make money niche, do the affiliate marketing, and do the monetizing of the email list.
Yeah, that all makes a lot of sense. And just a second about the Pinterest account. Do you do mainly organic on there? Do you do paid ads? How do you use your Pinterest account to drive traffic?
It's purely organic in that I don't use any. I've not done any paid advertising, whether that be on Pinterest, Facebook, or anywhere else. Basically, I have a Pinterest business account and I create pins I do it once a week using their scheduler, upload the pins, which then get scheduled out over the course of the week. Because I've been using Pinterest for the last 3 years, I've got thousands of pins out there. So all of those pins drive traffic to the website. And I've got a Canva Pro account, which I've paid for up until November. So I've got a whole load of templates for pins. So it takes me very little time to actually create the pins, although a lot of people do outsource that to a Pinterest virtual assistant. But I don't see the need for that because I've got the templates. I can just knock a few pins out within the space of a few minutes.
Excellent stuff. And I noticed on your listing page it says that you've got digital products on Teachable and Gumroad. Is that something you've recently added?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Again, I started getting into that sort of summer of 2020, and I have made some sales. I think I've made about 80 or 90 product sales so far. Just started. I haven't had any sales on Gumroad yet because I literally have just set it all up. But it's set up as a cart, so there is a shop page so people can buy the products on the shop page, and the cart is all inclusive within the website, so they don't get sent over to Gumroad. It's all inclusive. So they're all on there, both in Gumroad and Teachable.
Okay. Can you describe the amount and type of work you do on this site for maintenance?
Sure. I mean, in terms of Pinterest marketing, creating those pins and scheduling them out, that probably takes me maybe 2 hours a week. If I'm sending newsletters, I normally send a weekly newsletter, but in all honesty, between 2 and 4 times a month. That will take me about an hour a week on the weeks that I write them. And then if I'm creating new content or updating new content, normally allocate 2 to 5 hours a week, depending upon if I'm writing a new post or just updating and tweaking an old one.
And what skills or requirements do you think there are for someone who's not familiar with this niche or business model?
I think the main things are, and it can all be outsourced, that you'd be looking at somebody who can write content using their own voice. But again, that can be outsourced at a very low cost. And then either creating or getting a VA to just do the Pinterest marketing to keep that ticking over so that that continually drives traffic to the website.
Okay. What do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
I think there's 2 risks. One of them is obviously Pinterest. It is the biggest traffic source at the moment. So keeping abreast of the changes that with every platform there are changes that happen. So keeping abreast of that, but also looking to diversify. So creating more content which is SEO optimized to drive Google traffic. And the second risk would be that display ads are the main source. So when COVID happened, obviously the rate plunged. They popped back up again quite quickly, but they did plunge by 50% for about 6 weeks or something like that. So you are reliant upon the ad rates from your ad company. So getting over that is through diversifying through affiliate marketing, doing more Amazon affiliates, and obviously selling your own digital products.
Absolutely. Yeah, we always say that diversification is a great way to mitigate risk with a business. And all excellent stuff that we've talked about today, but putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
I think it's worth buying because there's a huge amount of affiliate opportunities that I haven't taken up. I know full well what they are, I just haven't done them because they're not my thing. And it's very easy to outsource things like the Pinterest marketing and creating more content, which will then keep growing the business and the traffic and the income. And there's an email list which is double opt-in, so they want to be on there. I don't go by single opt-in. And I haven't monetized it the way it could easily be monetized. So I think there's a lot of potential in quite a few diverse areas, which will help to diversify the income.
Okay, so regarding the sale of this business, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, I would, yep.
And how much support are you willing to offer buyers? Are you going for the standard 30 days of email and Skype support?
Quite happy to do that, or longer if required. You know, I don't see that 30 days has to be a distinct cut-off. If somebody wants support up for 6 weeks, then that's absolutely fine.
Excellent. I'm sure potential buyers will really appreciate that extra support. Is there anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, I don't think so. I think you've covered it very well.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff today on this call. So thank you very much for your time, Emma. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 51478. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description that goes straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.